Back and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
What up, what up? It is Deja. How y'all doing?
Hello. If you've never been here before, we do a cross section of pop culture in real life. Today we're coming with a Real Housewives of OC, like halfway through the season-y style of episode. Um, wow. So this is busy. This season has been busy. So
Mm-hmm.
busy. So I think we should go person by person and then just sort of summarize their storyline and keep it moving.
Well, let's start with the dumbest addition to this season, which is Alexis Bellino. I did not like her in previous years, and I still don't like her. She's a very unlikable person.
Very
Why
unlikely.
would you come in here hot, guns a-blazing? Yes, you know some of the cast, but the majority of them you don't even know. So you coming in here guns a-blazing after this woman behind you being with her ex-boyfriend, and like for what? Y'all don't even have no beef.
Yeah. For background, she is now with Shannon's ex-boyfriend, what's his face? John Jansen. She calls him
John Jansen, yeah.
she calls him Johnny J. So she is basically rubbing this in Shannon's face all season relentlessly.
Mm-hmm.
And John, or when Shannon got her DUI, I think we talked about this before in like a Housewives update episode. She got DUI. She ran into John's house as a part of this DUI experience. So, yeah. So now this boyfriend is dating Alexis Bellino, or ex-boyfriend is dating Alexis Bellino, and she has been vile. And let me tell
And
you
my
this.
thing is,
Oh,
your
go
whole
ahead.
storyline this season, Alexis,
Mhm,
is to be an antagonist to a woman you don't even know behind a man that you don't even know.
mhm.
Because according to you, you all have been dating for like 4 months.
32 seconds, and she
What
is
makes you think that this man did not see you as an opportunity to get back at what's her name?
Shannon.
Shannon, I forgot her name just that fast. Like, what makes you think that he didn't see you as an opportunity to get back at Shannon? Because now all of a sudden you're on this show. Yeah, yeah. It's giving he wants to use you, and you are being the stupid lapdog.
Ugh. And let me tell you
Hate
who
to
else
see it.
I am so over. Tamra Judge. Now listen,
Yes,
I have a love hate relationship with Tamra. I do. I
same.
think she's a good time. I think she's a good TV usually, but the way she is buddying up to Alexis after not being
Crazy.
able to stand Alexis like the whole time basically that she was on the show with her, couldn't stand her.
Mm-hmm.
And now that she's upset with Shannon, and it's like you should be upset. She is saying she's upset with Shannon because Shannon has not stopped drinking after her DUI. Shannon's still having a little cocktail here and there, but not drinking or not driving anymore. And so while she's cocktailing, which is the point of the DUI, but she feels like
Hello. I mean, she got to
she
stop drinking. The woman
right.
who said she was an alcoholic.
So well, Tamra basically is saying you're an alcoholic, you have a problem with alcohol, but it's like you're diagnosing her with something like I don't know. I don't know. And she's basically like she has a problem with alcohol and basically she won't do what I say, which is I think she needs to stop drinking and go to rehab. So now I'm going to buddy up with Alexis and go talk shit
Mm-hmm.
about Shannon all over the place. And basically throw her under the bus all over the place and I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Me either. It's
I
really awful to see because
can't.
it's like even when they sat down and they were having like a group dinner, Shannon brought Vicky with her, and they were like the crew that were doing some sort of show. Like
Basically,
the people who should be pissed off are Shannon and Vicky because you backed out of their thing as opposed to saying, "Hey, if you keep doing this, I don't feel comfortable with it. I'm gonna back out." You just bail out on them and then end their whole thing.
yeah. Or like I don't feel comfortable with drinking on stage with you. Like hey, this doesn't work for me or what. Just been honest. And she's just kind of like, just backed
Very
out
judgmental.
and being exactly being very judgmental. And then the next thing she did that pissed me off. So when they went to Big Bear for their separate cash trips, which I wanted to talk a little bit about, they're
Haven't seen that
dueling.
episode yet.
Okay, they had dueling pickup truck road trips. So Tamra and Katie and Gina, no, Tamara, Katie, and Alexis went to Big Bear. And basically she tells Katie that Gina set her up to go and talk to Heather about the whole paparazzi thing. And I was just like, huh?
Honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. With Katie, I feel like
Oh, Jenn was on their trip too. Jenn, I knew it was 4 of them.
with that incident, I feel like she did because Gina said to Katie when she was at Katie's house, if you don't tell Fancy Pants about this, then I'm going to. And then turned around and was like, I can't, but why would you bring this up? I told you not to. Da, 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 da. Not unless it was conversation that was off camera. But like 1 minute, one scene, we see Gina saying, you need to say something to her about this, or I'm going to do it for you. The next scene is her telling her, I told you not to say anything. And now look what's happened. And now she's like going to be mad at me. And it's like, well, girl, well, which one is it? Because
I
a
think
couple days ago,
for me, it seemed like Gina was like, "Hey, you need to pull her to the side and say something." But it wasn't Katie that ended up pulling her to the side. It was
no,
it was Shannon. No, it was Tamra and somebody else. I think.
Tamra and the now skinny big girl.
Oh yes. What's her name? I
She
think
was never a big girl, but like she just
Emily.
believed in her head that she was because everybody out there in Orange County is seemingly anorexic.
Yeah, Emily. So it was actually, and because, and I guess Emily got the information from Gina. So, or from talking to Katie, or what, I don't remember how the information got out.
No,
But
Katie
Katie
said
was talking
she
about it.
told them, and then they
Was talking
told,
about it, and they told
yeah,
Heather. So I think Gina was saying like, "Hey, I wanted you to head this off. Like, I wanted you to beat them to it and have a separate, like, a side conversation with Heather, and not
hmm
do it in this big setting of like where it's gonna all blow up." And I
hmm
think that was the point. But I don't think she was setting. I don't think she was setting Katie up because Katie ran her mouth. Like she ran her mouth
she
to
did.
a bigger group, and of course, it's going to get back to Heather. So that was Gina saying, like, "Hey, you need to get in front of this because it's going to get back to
hmm
her." I don't think
But
that's a
my
setup.
thing is like, I think I say that it almost feels like a setup because Katie doesn't necessarily know who told at this point from where I've seen.
Hmm.
Katie doesn't know who told Heather about this stuff that she was saying. She
Okay.
just knows that as soon as she goes up to Heather to have this conversation, Heather's already on the defense and is like
Okay.
ready to rip her a new one.
Fair.
And then like the conversation that she has later on, I don't know who she's with, but she's just like, now like Gina is really mad at me, but like I kind of feel a little set up because like she told me to do this and then like
Yeah.
now this happened.
Yeah.
So
So
that to that end, like because they haven't had a chance to say, no, I wasn't the person that did, or and I think when Katie's having the conversation about Gina being mad at her, I want to say she was with the now skinny big girl and somebody else.
right. Which
Who's the people that told basically, and she don't realize it
wait, when she was having that conversation, who was she with?
because they were sitting at like a beach club or something.
Okay. Okay. You
You
might
know
be.
what I'm talking about? I just don't. I don't. I know that the skinny big girl was there, but I don't know who the other person was because it was three of them.
Yeah. I don't remember who she was with. Um.
They make me want to go to Orange County. It looks so beautiful out there.
Yeah.
The little restaurants and stuff on the beach is nice.
Really pretty. So while we're talking about it, let's talk about Emily. She's doing a lot this season with the working out, and
Emily, thank you. Let me stop calling her skinny big girl. I can't remember her name.
her
Sorry,
husband
y'all.
is doing the exact opposite, which is kind of it's kind of funny, but like also maybe there's some balance in between. And typically I like a Emily because I think she's just funny and like kind of a breather. But this how
She a
she
little mean.
well, that's where I was going next. She lit into Jen, and I think she was too rough on her. I think everybody is being a bit rough on Jen. So
I agree.
part of this season has been that what's her face? Gina set why can't I ever remember the
Gina helped.
help
Is her name Jen?
Jen. Jen.
Gina helped Jen out by getting her into a temporary home
Right.
with a lease, and they didn't do no credit check. I'm like, where they do that at?
It was because of Gina's good name in the real
Rich and white.
Yeah. Well, she had a good name in the real estate game and was like, "Hey, my friend needs a house. Can you rent her your house?" And then it comes to find out Jen Jen does not seem like she has any sort of working knowledge about being an adult. She seems
No.
like she was with her husband pretty young, her first, well, yeah, her still husband, I think, pretty young, and he took care of everything, and she just raised the kids, and that was kind of it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like she didn't know anything. She didn't know anything, and he was paying her bills up until a certain point, like her ex husband was paying her bills, but
Mm-hmm.
I guess he stopped, and that's why she ended up not being able to pay rent on this house that Gina put her in. So Gina's like, I'm in the beginning of my real estate career, and you put me in a tight spot. Like you put me in a bind, and I'm kind of like, you kind of
You
put
put
yourself in.
yourself in a bind.
It feels like she put herself in the bind, and also
Yeah.
for I defended Gina a lot because I felt like Shannon really did throw in her face that she helped her with her DUI issue. Side note, I do respect that Shannon came to Gina and apologized for how poorly she treated her behind that DUI.
Mm-hmm.
And I respected that. But for all that she was basically like Shannon keeps bringing it up, bringing it up, bringing it up, and she did the same thing to Jen.
Mm-hmm.
She did the exact same thing to Jen, and I
The thing that pisses me off
I
with
don't like
this
it.
Jen thing is like, yes, Jen is in her 40s. She's a grown ass woman with kids. She should have some wherewithal about how to live a life.
Yeah,
However, this woman has been taken care of since birth.
yeah.
And it, like, to your point, it sounds like she probably got married if she went to college, straight out of college, to someone who was
Young.
older, who
Mhm.
also was very much gonna provide for you.
Mhm.
And she never had to do anything on her own.
Mm-mm.
So to then be, a year into going through divorce and now you have to figure out how to adult and you've not really ever had to do that, get a girl some grace. It ain't
Agreed.
been but a couple of months,
Agreed.
even if a year.
Agreed.
Like you because Gina is coming from the place of, well, I went through this and my husband this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. But like, girl, you also probably did not grow up wealthy. Because the
Right.
way Jen seems, it seems like her, wherever her people are from, like Oklahoma, they got money and land. So
Yeah.
she grew up always being taken care of, like
Right.
silver spoon.
Yeah.
So like, things that she does not know. If you feel like she should know this stuff so much, then you should ask her and be her friend and be like, hey, do you know, have you heard about this? Have you tried this? Do you know how to do this?
I
And
agree.
help this woman.
And I think
Like, how hard is that?
yeah, and I think all of them are coming from the same place of like Heather is like you need to not Heather, god damn it. Emily, Emily is like you need to figure it out. Like why hasn't she figured it out? Why are you going on this or why are you wearing a Rolex? You could just pay
Yeah.
your back rent. And Gina,
Like,
like you
y'all
said,
have no
coming
idea.
Gina coming from that perspective, Tamra has been hard on her too. And I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
this lady does not know anything. And
Mm-hmm.
y'all need to cut it out. Y'all need to cut it out. Y'all are
Also,
being
it
too
also
hard.
gives that these women are jealous that she's been able to have a life of pure privilege because all of them come from some place in life where they've had to work and earn to save and have the things that they have now, right? It's giving that they are looking at her with like looking down on her because she doesn't know how to do all these things that they know how to do. But you all were probably raised in homes and families where you needed to have those life skills. Homegirl was not.
I don't get jealousy from it. I just get judgment as far as like I had to figure it out young with Tamra.
Why can't you?
She has an older son, so she's been out on her own for a long time, and she's like, I had to figure it out. You need to like buck up, Buttercup, and get your shit together, which I agree. And it's like the thing that I don't like about with Emily, what Emily is doing is this whole like you can't have anything nice. You can't have anything nice.
Yeah.
You don't have any place to live, so you can't have nothing nice. you should have pawned everything. And I'm just kind of like,
I don't like that either.
I don't like that. I don't like that
My
perspective.
sister is like that.
I don't like that. You can't.
I'm like, that's you. If you want to go and live, pot to piss or whatever it's called, like if you want to go and live like that, do you? But like, I got a standard that I want to live.
Yeah.
Even in my downfall, I'm gonna still maintain to the best of my ability. Some things might look a little different, but we still gonna be, looking like how I was.
Yeah. So I just think I don't like how they're handling her. I think there is a way to like be there and be like, hey girl, time to get your shit together without being cruel. And I think some of it's bordering on and crossing the line, frankly, of being a little bit cruel to me. And then they're judging her for like going to move into her boyfriend's house. And it's like, girl, well, what else is she supposed to do?
Where she was going. The girl was going to be homeless with her children on the street.
Where was she going to go? So, and it seems like they're fine and they're doing fine according to her on Watch What Happens Live. So
I'm like, all the better to go live in somebody else's house where they're paying the bills and you can collect your checks and put them in the bank. So when and if the sky falls down again, you got money in the bank where you can go and do for yourself.
Yeah. And also I think part of this was the fact that she didn't know what to expect in terms of her divorce, which was ongoing. And I think she didn't realize maybe how long that was going to take. And I don't think she got that much money. I felt like I heard
that she did
somewhere that was like $250,000. Maybe that's her support, but I didn't think that was that much money.
Yeah, I think that might be her support. That ain't even counting child support.
Okay, so maybe that's a different number for something else, but I didn't.
But y'all let us know. I could be wrong.
It's not too much money. Heather in her paparazzi storyline, I'm over that. Yeah, and so then the other side, you'll get to this. The other side of the road trip was Heather and Gina, Emily and Shannon went to, where did they go? They went to, it was a former cast member. I don't remember her name. Anyways, it's Gina's listing. And so they were going to stay in the house. And it's like, girl, why would you stay in a house that's already staged? But okay, because they're going to make a mess. So they packed up their pickup truck and their grill. And this turned into a Gina grill session because Shannon actually told, well, of course, Heather had the beef with her as far as the paparazzi stuff and the things that came out with Katie. So Heather had a beef with Gina. And then Heather told Emily that Gina had called her mean, had said that she was being very mean lately. Like she hadn't been herself. She was being mean and aggressive. And Emily is like, you my homegirl. Why you ain't talk to me about it? Why is that conversation happening without me? And so, she grilled Gina also. So, Gina had a rough go where she thought it was going to be a little Ponderosa and a little road trip with her homegirls. So we're going to see how that ends up when we come back for our next recap episode, y'all.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts about OC?
I kind of wish that Vicky was a little bit more present because Shannon needs she needs that support.
Yeah.
Alexis has to go.
Absolutely.
I like Katie. I hate that she's come in with the bah humbug, so to speak, but I also feel like I agree with her a little bit that she was a little set up.
Well, that's what Tamra said, which I felt like Tamra was trying to plant a seed more than anything.
Maybe it was Tamra and
it was Tamra,
Emily, and Katie.
Yeah.
Boom. Because we couldn't remember who the third person was.
Yeah. And so Tamra then planted the seed with Katie that Gina set her up. And I don't think she set her up like that. And I think Tamra was trying to start some mess.
Child, y'all listen. I'm gonna be watching OC. I have not watched this show in a very long time. So I'm interested to watch and see what happens.
Same. All right, get in the comments. Tell us what you're watching. Tell us if you're watching OC and what you think about this season so far. In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace out, friends.
Bye-bye.